you debut on Heat as the manager of TNA.
Yeah.
The puns there.
Talent and ability, obviously.
Talent and ability.
Talent
Test and
ability,
Albert.
not
Can't think of another one.
anything else. Test and
Talk through that day, that debut, being on TV, your first appearance. What were your memories of it?
My first appearance.
You're going to need to workshop the Scottish accent a little bit.
I love it. I'm a bit of a linguist. I like to play around with accents and stuff, so I might just, bust out accents as we go. Anyway, just part of the fun. Just part of the fun. Should I do this whole thing in an accent? No. So that was, okay, so let's see. It was going to be, okay, I was on the road for a couple weeks, and you kind of just go. You just mill about until they notice you and say, oh, you're doing something tonight. But they literally go, oh, you're on tonight. I'm like, oh, tonight? Okay, what am I doing? Who am I? So you're a heel. You're going to be a bad guy. Tess and Albert, you'll be scouting them this evening. We were in Nassau. We were at Nassau Coliseum, which is in Long Island, New York. And my best friend at the time, Lillian Garcia, who I think, sometimes I believe in manifestation. I believe in throwing things out to the universe. Let's just say this. Lillian Garcia for the Hall of Fame. Right? Okay, good. That's out there. Universe, do what you will with it. And WWE Universe and the universe. So I looked at her and I said, oh my God, we need to get some outfits. We need to do something. So we jumped in the car. We went to the local mall that was there. And we just literally were like, because everyone's like, how'd you get how did you think, this is such a big thing. How did you think of the cowboy hat? And did you plan it? You're like, I'm going to, and I was like, no, it just was in the mall. It just happened to be at Hot Topic, It was cool. It was just available. So but then I definitely knew. I knew, as I thought about when I'd be debuting, I definitely wanted something iconic. I just thought of Undertaker. I wanted a kid to dress up like me, not just wear sometimes the girls sometimes there's just, it's just spandex and stuff. Sometimes there's no look, you need
a bit generic.
I wanted a look. So we got the hats they were everywhere. We grabbed a couple, and then we got the duster jackets, and that was and then I had those boots just happened to be, that was part of the time. It was the era where I was wearing those boots. I had those packed in my bag. And then we put the look together, and the Trish Stratus look was born.
Well, you debut, and then within a few weeks, you're in this storyline where you're, the Trish Stratus character, not you, is teasing Bubba Ray Dudley.
There, though.
You're teasing Bubba Ray and teasing him,
yeah.
and it leads to the infamous table spot.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Was that something that you were pitching to them? How up for it were you? Because that's a pretty big angle to be in when you first get it.
Well, big angle, and then obviously big culmination. You knew it was coming to that point because Bubba Ray was putting women through the table left, right, and center, including Mae Young. So I thought, if that old bitch is going to go through a table, I'm sure I am as well. So yes, I knew that was going to come to that, and I, it's a bit of it's a big turning point for me in my career. Can we focus, please? Who's laughing over there? I didn't say anything. It was not funny nor witty. There will be much of that, but just not at the moment. So just talking about Bubba Ray, and who's not witty or funny. So let me just finish the sentence. No, he is very funny and witty. And
you tail them, Trish.
Don't with me, okay? Yeah. Anyway, so we were leading towards that, and it was a big moment for me because I knew this would prove myself to my colleagues and to you guys that I was willing to put my body on the line. And so I remember saying to Bubba, because he kind of protects the women at times. You can if you watch the bump carefully, you can see that he was protecting the women. And I was like, I just want to go straight through. I don't want you to protect me. I want to go straight through as you would do a guy. Okay.
Can't relate.
Carrying on. Is it a PG show? No, it's not, right? Okay, cool. Yes, so I just, and he did that, and he put me right through the damn table, and it was great. And it was like what a weird, people were like, oh God, did it hurt? And I'm like it was exhilarating. I can't even explain it. It was so, I took a deep breath. I was kind of exhaled as I went through. It was amazing. And I guess I said the wrestler, right? So I just knew that was a great moment for me and for my career. And I was like, yeah, guys, I have arrived. It was one of those moments.
And Bubba's kind of got a reputation sometimes of being a grumpy guy. I know, it's shocking. How was he with you as a new person coming in?
So you said grumpy was the word you used?
Do you have another word?
I have a couple other adjectives. Let's just sum it up and say tough love. Okay? Yeah. I think he definitely saw something in me and knew that I was willing to go the extra mile, but he was testing me definitely. He was testing me, he was pushing me. He was going to see if I would break, basically. There was times like that. But because he saw potential in me and he believed in me. And so, that was a big moment for us to share. Later on, I actually won my second championship in Toronto, and he won the hardcore title. Both titles were on the line, so that was a special moment we got to share. But he's really great. I respect him and love him a lot. And he was like I said, tough love. There's times where he gave me a hard time, but all because he wanted me to learn from the experiences and things like that. So, but grumpy, definitely. Mm-hmm.
You said something I thought was pretty interesting. Where when you were first in WWF, you were wrestling, you were having matches. But if you would go through an airport, you would not, and people said, oh, what do? You wouldn't call yourself a wrestler. And I thought that was an interesting thing to say. And obviously we know that in wrestling, wrestlers typically are not welcoming of people who are not wrestlers. What was your experience like in those first few months trying to navigate that?
Well, you kind of nailed it. That's what it was. I feel like I didn't want, it's like I felt like I had to earn the right to be called a wrestler. And although I was wrestling, I mean, not as, at that point it wasn't, there was no women's division yet at this point, so we weren't competing. We were doing some matches here and there, cat fights mostly. And so I knew if like the boys heard me say like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a wrestler. They'd be like, what? I didn't want to give them a chance to be like, I just respected them so much. And I didn't feel like I had necessarily earned the right to call myself a wrestler yet. I didn't come up through the independent scene, which most people did. I didn't pay my due diligence, my dues like everyone did, you know what I mean? So I just felt like I wasn't able to say that until I had earned it. And I don't know what point, to be honest, that I was like, I got to think about that. There was probably a point where I'm like, goddamn right, I'm a wrestler. But I really felt like I had to go ahead and prove myself and get through a certain point and put in the miles, so to speak, and then earn that title, I guess you could say.
And was the locker room welcoming to you?
No. Next question. No. Which one? Which one? Listen, here comes this girl, okay? Even Amy will tell you, okay? Amy, AKA Lita, in case you don't know. She will even tell you, she got signed a month before me, and then all of a sudden saw like, there's Trish Stratus. I hadn't even debuted, but because they were waiting on my visa thing to go to the US, I was able to fly to wherever, Dominican Republic or somewhere where they were doing a diva shoot. So I went over there, I'm not even signed, not even on TV, and here I am shooting for the cover of one of their magazines, and Amy's at home like, oh, I'm never gonna get on TV now if this girl's, right before me. So she'll tell you that story. So here I am, like there's like this everyone's the buzz is like there's this fitness model that's coming into our business. Does she wrestle? I've never heard of her. She's not from the wrestling world, she's from the fitness world. Great, she lifts weights, great. And then here I am on the cover of the magazine. I'm not even debuted yet. I'm already on the cover of a magazine. So, I understand maybe they were like, this chick, So it was, and I was a stranger to the business. I didn't earn my way in yet, so I understood I had to earn my stripes, and didn't mean they had to be so mean to me though, guys. There was times it was tough in the beginning, and Lillian, another non-wrestler, we just got the brunt of it. She became my bestie. We bonded instantly. We became road partners. We drove together. We were together. I mean, she wasn't on the live events, which the house shows on the weekends, but we'd hook up on the, just before a Raw, and we would be driving together, and we would go to Tuesdays would be SmackDown. And so we went through it together. There was a time we went into her locker room, and we got there early because she'd be in the production meetings. So we'd go there, we'd put our stuff in, I'd go off, probably get in the ring with Fit, and then she'd go do a production meeting. And we'd come back and just stuff all over the floor. Like, in other words, someone just basically went like that and just tossed it aside. And we were like, what the hell? And then we were told, like, you can't just come in here. We've been coming here for years. You can't just come in here and put your stuff down, anywhere. Like, this is where I put my stuff for years, and you have not been even to this building before. And it was like, okay. So there's like a lot of hazing and like things like that. But you know what? I just knew that, like, for me, it was a matter of like, I said, I'm just gonna get so damn good that no one can treat me like this, and you can't ignore me, and I'll earn my place by showing you what I've got out there in the ring. And that's the best way that I knew I could do that. Yeah. So thank you for being So thank you for being jerks, guys, because you just made me be that much more better. So, you drove me to be better.